All right, I'm going to read a few more minutes of how I lost 100 pounds in 100 days. The bike trail, day of reckoning. This one day at the bike trail was a very pivotal day in my life. It was a day that I finally had enough of the mess that I had made of myself. My younger brother of 11 years had a huge role in this turning point for myself. He and I still laugh as we reminisce from time to time about this one very special summer day on the bike trail. We laughed about it then as well, even though it was at my expense. I deserved it, and I could do nothing but laugh at my own self. Like I mentioned already, I am not the guy that pities myself or feels sorry for my situations in life. I do not think that gets us anywhere in life. It keeps us stagnant at the very best. Stagnant, standing in a pile of our own self-pity. We all can dig holes for ourselves and make horrible decisions in life. We can make complete wrecks out of our lives, and many of us were not dealt the best hand in life. I know that I was not dealt the best hand in life. Not even close. But I was not dealt the worst either. Not even close. If you are someone who likes to sulk and dwell on your bad situations in life, I swear that you will fix those situations a lot faster if you thought the opposite. There are ways to retrain yourself, but they require a mental toughness that many people don't have the desire to achieve. It is sad to say that, but it is true. Laughing at your own self is not a bad thing, not even if you are damaging yourself in some of the worst ways. Also, other people who you know that care about you, laughing at you and trying to give you some tough love isn't a bad thing either. Soft, weak people have a tough time with this, but the world is not going to slow down and pity us. It will chew us up and spit us out and not think twice about it. Mental toughness is something that I cannot stress enough. You can never have too much of it. So let me fill you in on this one hot summer day at the bike trail. The day that I had my butt handed to me by my little brother. At this time, I was already 300 plus pounds. Probably even close to that 320 mark. I was in denial and still thought I could pull my athletic abilities out of my hat at any given time if I needed them. I used to amateur kickbox in my late teens, early 20s. And I would do road work, as it's called, which is run, at this specific bike trail that goes around the city for miles and miles. At the time, I was working for myself as a mason, which is the trade that I did for most of my life. My little brother was also working with me. This is at the time of the bike trail incident. So he had already been in my ear about how fat and sloppy I let myself get for a little while. Well, one day, I guess I got a little too big for my britches, and I challenged him to a long-distance race at that bike trail. I think he accepted the challenge before I could even finish giving it to him. And he was laughing. He was laughing hysterically, too. He laughed and laughed and laughed as he accepted my cocky challenge to a race of a decent distance, which I forgot how long exactly it was now. But it was obviously way longer than I could run at that moment in time. As I am sure that you already have guessed where this story is heading. I was probably around 29 or 30 years old, which would make him about 18 or 19 years old. He was 6'1", about 150 pounds, so I was at least double his weight and way out of any kind of shape to be trying to run long distance. Now, let's add 100+ degree weather to the mix. Yes, I bet you are even laughing right now, right? And I laughed at myself that day too. Later. It was after I had puked out most of my dignity all over the bike trail, but I eventually came to and had a nice laugh at my own expense. When we first started the race, I at least wasn't cocky enough to not run at a pace that was equal to a turtle's. I basically did a power walk. That's all I could really do. And my brother stayed near me for the first few minutes in order to get his verbal jabs in before he darted off into the sunset. Literally. leaving me only to eat his dust that he left behind. He told me later that he ran to the finish line that we made for this race. And he said he waited and waited and waited, wondering if I would make it to this hill where he could see me from the end. Well, he began to actually worry and wonder if I had passed out or died. So he came running back in my direction to find me. I remember seeing him come running from a distance over that hill that I had not even came close to reaching. I was bent over with both hands on my knees, facing his direction, puking out every ounce of my soul all over the bike trail. When he had seen me, I remember him stopping and just laughing hysterically as I was puking my lungs out. If I was puking, then I was not dead. So he was able to get a good laugh at my expense, which I deserved every bit of. Once he got his laughs finished, he ran over to me and asked me if I was okay. I was puking out hot air by this time, so we both enjoyed some good laughs after I finally quit vomiting. I could not believe that I had the audacity to challenge this kid to a long-distance race. What was I thinking? I still am asking myself this today. What was I thinking? I seriously thought that because I had ran that route and then some dozens, maybe even hundreds of times when I was in excellent shape, that I could do it at any time, no matter what. I could just pull that out of my hat and do it. I was humbled that day. I could not believe how out of shape that I was. My brother had been telling me for a while how pathetic I let myself become. He told me that when he was a little kid, he used to look up to me, and he used to have memories of me always being fixated on anything and everything sports and fitness related. Because I was a freak. I was one of those freaks. I had always been obsessed with sports and weight training as a kid. I got my first cement weight set when I was 10 years old. I remember my grandmother buying it for me from an ad in a Penny Saver magazine that I had found on my own looking for someone's old used weights. I started weight training with the basics at a young age of 10. I was learning how to squat, deadlift, bench press, bar dip, pull-ups, those types of things. I would read about training in magazines and just copycat every system that I read about, and I did them all. I remember getting my other brother, who was 2 years younger than me, to train with me in the backyard. He only wanted to do back arms. He was a bar dip freak. He could pound out bar dips like a machine. I would train every muscle, but I always loved stuff like squats, which I still do to this day. This is over 30 years later, and I squat every day now. Anything that was a sport, I would play it. I loved all things that were sport. I was the kid that had some kind of a ball in my hand at all times, bouncing it all over the place, annoying my mom. And my little brother seen that as a little kid. He seen me go from an athlete to a lush who only cared about beer. My brother's tough love that he would lay on me could easily have been taken as ridicule and bullying. And in today's world, it would be. That's what soft, weak people think. And in today's world, we're full of soft, weak people. I just added that. Now, do not get me wrong. If total strangers are calling you names and constantly putting you down, okay, it's a different thing. If total strangers, that's not cool, okay? They do not care about you. They are feeling good about tearing you down. So, don't mistake that. Don't take it from people who don't know you. And if people that do know you, they're doing it a certain way to help you, But when someone who cares about you does it, it might be because it is something that is needed. I needed this badly. And as stubborn of a mule that I am so glad that he did not let up at any time. He could have got bored after a few days and quit, but he was relentless. He wanted that light bulb to finally go off in my head and for me to reverse the damage that I was doing to myself. I have never thanked him for that in a proper, serious way. We only talk about it from time to time in a joking manner. This is just the way that we do things and the way a lot of people probably do things. He knows though, so he knows that he was the one who tipped Humpty Dumpty off of that wall. And while I may have had a great fall, It wasn't great enough to break me into 1,000 pieces. I was able to get up and dust myself off and start a new journey in life. This one day at the bike trail really pissed me off. I was pissed off at my own self. I vowed to get myself to a respectable weight again, and also wanted to get myself into the cardiovascular shape that I was once in for several years of my life. Did this happen overnight? Abso-freaking-lutely not. Did I make more mistakes on this new journey than I can count? Absolutely yes. But I have learned lessons, and I am still learning lessons every single day from mistakes that I have made and still make, and will continue to make. I grow as a person from my mistakes that I make. I am barely realizing this right now, and I'm in my 40s. In my 40s is when I started to really see this, as I hit about 39, 40 years old. So this journey towards optimal health has been a very long, bumpy road. And I'll stop it there. So I'll do another one when I get time. I have watermelon to eat. So you have, if you're watching this from an ad, people that are, I'm running these as ads, and people are watching a good percentage of it. If you're watching from an ad, subscribe to this channel. Subscribe and watch all the other videos. I do videos like this, and they're all like, they're all informative, the real deal videos. I'm not a shill. This is all from real life. Everything that I say is from my own experience. So I have free ebooks. They're in the description of this video and all the videos. This is one of them. This is free. This ebook is free. This ebook, The Vegan Diet, is free. I have some other ones that are free in there. Also, click the link and go to my website, and I got something else that's free on there that I can't do forever. So see what's on there and subscribe to this channel if you're watching this from an ad, and continue watching this whole video. It's already the end of it, so I'm done. So if you watch this from an ad, you watch this far, and people are watching a lot of these, so it's great. I'm gonna keep running them. I'm paying money to give all this stuff away for free. I'm paying money to run ads to give these away for free. I'm paying money to share these videos. So it's stupid from a business standpoint. It's very stupid. But for the time being, while I can do this, I'm gonna do this, and then one day I'm not gonna do it anymore, because my own age reversal is what's most important to me. So if you found this, you found a needle in a haystack. Learn every single thing that I'm saying in all these videos and apply it for the rest of your life, and you will add decades of high quality living to your life if you apply this stuff that I say. And it's very difficult. We're talking about age reversal. We're talking about adding decades, 10, 20, 30 high quality years to your life. High quality ones. Okay? High quality years. It can happen. And don't think that's going to be easy. That's an overhaul for most people on every aspect of their life. So know that going into it. Know that. And that's motivational. You have to want to love yourself, and you have to want to care about yourself more than anything that there is. It's the ultimate self-love. So you have yourself a wonderful day.